Welcome to the Blooming League of Original Podcasts.
G'day and welcome to the 18th edition of Thrash and Treasure, the torture chamber musical comedy podcast that comes of age. So that means we can legally now drive you crazy. Speaking of crazy, I'm Aaron, the village idiot, and I'm joined as usual by the living embodiment of Dr. Zaius, my co-host Gareth. How you doing this week?
I'm doing fantastic. I've just got a little job to do first. I have to Google Dr. Zaius to find out whether that was a compliment or not. So
You don't know Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, ooh, Dr. Zaius from The Simpsons?
no.
No? Planet of the Apes?
Well, I remember Planet of the Apes.
There we go.
So there was no music in it.
Well, okay, obviously no music in it. So that was their musical version on The Simpsons, but there is an orangutan.
Oh, I see. Yes. All right then.
Yeah, there we go. All right, well, obviously that was too deep of a cut.
It was a deep cut. You went Simpsons and I just blanked because I don't think I've watched The Simpsons for 30 years.
I don't bloody know. The Simpsons are everywhere. Shit.
Nice. Like I said, I've got about 5 quotes from The Simpsons and they're all probably from the first 3 series. Anyway.
Let me guess. Doll, eat my shorts, I carumba, Marge going, and thank you, come again.
And you don't make friends with salad, which is literally my favourite one.
Oh, yeah, of course. You don't make friends with bloody salad. Shit.
I love that song. Don't make friends with salad.
We've got a guest.
Okay, so well, obviously, cat's out of the bag now. We have a guest this week.
What?
Aha, we have a master debater in the house. She's my best friend, my confidant, and my most honest critic. And when she's not moving across Australia, you can hear her arguing all things RuPaul's Drag Race on the BLOOP Network show Drag Race Debates, where she has qualified for the epic Season 1 Grand Final. But today, she's here to talk music with us. So please give a warm, torturous g'day to Mimi Kaka, otherwise known as Lara. Welcome to the show, honey.
Thank you very much for coaxing me onto another show.
That's all right. Anytime. Thank you for joining us today. Have you settled into your new house?
Getting there. Not far off being settled, although
Excellent.
it always takes some time. Like my mother always likes to say, it usually takes 2 years to settle in somewhere properly.
Yeah, I can see that, getting to know the lay of the land and all that. But speaking of settled, I don't mean to change the subject, but if you've been following our Twitter in the past couple of weeks, you'll know that I had a little bit of a meltdown when the Walt Disney Corporation decided to serve me. They sent me an email saying that I'm being sued for copyright infringement
What the hell?
over my play called Aladdin and His Magic Lamp, which, the clue right there, different title.
Wow.
I mean, different character names
That's-
and all that. But anyways, look, it's, both of you know, it's been quite a fucked up week. It's stressful. I've had this lingering over me, plus, you know, obviously a few other things that you guys know about that's been happening that I really didn't need. I really did not need to wake up. And, well, even then I stopped working and checked my email and there was Disney suing me. It's since been withdrawn, so that's good. I'm glad of that, and I don't know if it was a mistake or an algorithm or what, but you're supposed to be the biggest fucking company in the fucking world. Do your research, plain and simply. I mean, I'm a loser sitting at home doing this podcast, and I can do my research for anything we're going to be talking about, for crying out loud. So anyways,
I literally don't understand, and this is Disney being Disney because they are shit. And I've got a Disney rant later, but that's okay. Aladdin's not even their story. I mean, Aladdin that story's been told for hundreds of years, and then all of a sudden they turn it into a cartoon and they own the story? Nah.
like, okay, so they own their characters, the songs and designs and all that, which I kind of spent my whole life studying this sort of thing. So it's not as if I've just woken up one day and decided, oh, I'm going to write my own fucking version of Aladdin, and oh, I'm going to make it as exactly like the Disney version because I'm a fan of that. No, that's what a moron does. That's what these fucking... I'm not going to go there. Anyways, you know, mine was absolutely completely different. I made sure of that. It had its own mythology. It was set in its own world and its own island that has all these other stories connected to it that Disney hasn't done, full stop. The only thing I can think of is that they might have wanted to do a TV series or a spin-off film and were looking at that name, Aladdin and His Magic Lamp, But still, like, that's even a long shot because that title already exists.
Yeah.
So they have no right to come after me for that, because this was 4 years ago that I put that out, and it's only been the past couple of years that they've been talking about these Aladdin sequels and stuff. But anyways, so yeah, that's since been settled, which is a huge weight lifted off my shoulder, and thank you both, for being there, because I might have lost my mind.
I know where you're at.
But I'm starting to wonder, I've got my two favourite people here and it's not my birthday. Is this an intervention?
I don't know why.
Okay, good. Alright, so I reckon we should move on and get on with the show. Unless anyone else has any grievances, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I got sent to the naughty corner on Twitter and I got a takedown notice email.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
From some copyright holder who holds the copyright to the Village People YMCA.
Yeah, good on ya.
So I can't remember what the tweet was, but I obviously linked to. You know what I did? This is what I did.
You do?
Someone tweeted a video of the Proud Boys and all those knuckleheads in the US with their their silly little get ups with their guns and their
small dicks
G.I. Joe clothes. I took the video. Someone had tweeted the video. I took the video and I put YMCA over the top of it, the Village People song, and turned it very gay. Yeah, about 6 months ago though. So all of a sudden the other day, I get a takedown notice as breach of copyright for using the music, and then Twitter sent me to the naughty corner. So I had to get myself out of naughty corner. Yeah. So there you go. Don't use the Village People because they will come after
Well, it looks
you.
like we're both in a bit of trouble this week, so hopefully the music we've given each other hasn't been any trouble at all. So how about we move on and we get stuck into the music now?
Are we starting with metal because this is awesome?
Yeah, I guess. Well, I'm hosting, so might as well.
Fantastic.
For those at home, this week you gave me a band called Manowar.
I gave you a band called Manowar, and again, none of your jokes land.
No, Manowar.
Manowar.
Yes, please. Jeez, I'd bloody settle for Man Minute at the moment, I tell ya. Shit. Anyways, moving on. Would you like to hear my review?
All right.
When I first saw the cover, I said, "Whoa, man, that's like the most metal thing I've ever seen."
You're a lying sack of shit. That's what I said last week.
Yeah, that's what they say. Mediocre minds think alike. Anyways, and so I leaned in for a closer. Ouch! They poked my eyes out. And instantly, I wondered what sort of sadistic bastard would send a single homo of the sexuals an album with this cover costuming choices. I mean, I've been to parties that look like this, only the long hair was protruding out of the back instead. So I grabbed the tissues and pressed play and was instantly transported to an Alabama monster truck rally circa 1988, and sadly not a Texan leather bear party in 2021. Yum. Speaking of which, upon hearing the titular opening track, this album tasted like Tiger Joe knocked his beer into the ashtray while falling face first into his faded fuchsia futon, mustered enough energy and strength to balance and tip the beer back into the bottle before passing out face first into an empty bowl of barbecue ribs, only then wake up several hours later and finish the stale beer, and as the air punchy carry-on plays, old Tiger Joe does exactly that, and does it all over again. Otherwise known as Aaron on a second date. I'm kidding, I've never actually been on a second date. Anyway, speaking of carry on, this stadium anthem for the Tabletop Nerd Brigade was sadly not the Martha Wash song of the same name. However, upon hearing it 20 times, I must have washed myself 40 times each. Violence and bloodshed reminded me of my youth, but only in name. Lyrically and musically, it invoked irritable bowel syndrome. But then, the album turned a corner with Defender, where the first half echoed of the soundtrack to a Kiss and Metallica orgy. The second half feels more like Leonard Cohen narrating infighting between members of Metallica, all serious and poetic with a sudden Sprechersang, which turned into a whiny sook about daddy issues. And I know a little bit about daddies. Defender was an odd song, which sounded like I was being sold feminine hygiene products in 1991. Which is great, because now I'm confident that I can go about my day and nobody will know. But overall, I don't know how to feel. The cover made me feel ugly and single, whereas the more upbeat songs in the first half lightened my mood and inspired me to ride a wild cougar over a bolt of lightning. Her name was Susan. But the second half felt like the Grim Reaper sings the blues. 3 stars.
Wow.
But because my Mimi Kaka is here, I'm feeling less mean than usual. But still, fuck you, Gareth. 3.5 stars.
Out of
All right, you
that's
happy?
a really high score.
And no, it had nothing to do with the fucking pictures, for crying out loud.
3.5 stars. Wow. So that's wow.
That were fun, campy songs. I liked the first half, but not the second half at all, really.
I didn't expect you to like any of it.
Really? Well, no, I didn't want to like it. I sort of felt like you had deliberately given me this fucking homoerotic album to rub in my face, which I know you did. I'm like, yeah, nah, that's not fucking cool. I can't go anywhere at the moment. I can't hook up with any guys. I want to catch fucking COVID. You did an absolute nasty on
I
me.
did a nasty. Yeah. I did. And it was a last minute nasty.
Yeah, you and Andy. Don't worry, you'll get yours. Both of you.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It was yeah.
But yeah, anyways, carry on. The problem with, well, not really the problem. I guess what I kind of liked about this album is that every song sold me a different product. One song I'm being sold deodorant. Another song I'm being sold gym equipment. The next song I'm being sold a can-do attitude. There was just so many different sounds that were very familiar to me from my childhood in terms of the commercials we used to have. Back then, the songs weren't as lively and boppy. They were a little bit somber, a little bit darker. I don't know if you remember those coffee commercials with
don't know.
Anthony Stewart Head, of all people, 6 Degrees of Coffee.
There we go.
Anyways, those weren't lively commercials. That wasn't a lively romance. That was quite somber and subtle, and that's kind of like... And those solo ads where the guy would go over the waterfall, that was a little bit darker than what you would get today.
Right.
So essentially, this album sold me solo. I wanted solo all through this album, I guess. But you put on Carry On and just listen to the music and listen to the attitude behind it, and I can totally see that with the narration. Carry on. Incontinence pads for the senior citizen on the go. Can't you see that?
No, it
No,
doesn't.
serious. Come on, it's right there in the music. It's got that vibe to it.
Only you could make that link. My God.
I definitely found the whole album quintessential American 80s. Like, I just found it was like totally giving me those vibes. The drum was like really amazing. The electrics, the guitar was fantastic, but definitely not my style of music. Definitely not. Funnily enough, I was totally thinking like I was getting those full-on Conan vibes, like Arnold's version of Conan.
Yes, yeah.
And they're pulling it off well. I mean, obviously it's in that time anyway, written and released in the 80s, but still, it's just, you totally get those vibes from it. So
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. I reckon my favorite song was probably Carry On.
Yeah,
I know it's like
it's
a bit
catchy.
weird, but yeah, it's a cute song. Oh, I probably should
Cute.
tough and manly.
This album came out in 1987. Interestingly, the part of Defender that you hated was Orson Welles. That was his voiceover, the late great Orson Welles. Yeah.
Wait, did I know that? Hang on. I read something recently. There was an actor who did a voiceover or something for an album, and then it was just a demo, and then he died, and then the proper one was released. Was that?
Yeah, it is. Orson Welles recorded it for the demo version, and before he died, and this was released after.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. No, see, I am awake. See. At least I pay attention.
You were paying attention to that one. Yeah. This was an album when Manowar's one of those bands you either love them or hate them. There's no in between. And in the metal world, they're kind of ridiculed.
Oh yeah, I can see why.
By the elitist metalheads, because they're just
dorks.
So over the top.
Oh yeah.
And they
dorks.
Yeah, and they kind of do their own thing. I mean, they put out 9 songs. 2 of them are filler. I mean, one's kind of a drum solo, which is amazing. Scott Columbus drums are very, very cool. And then Master of Revenge is just this kind of Master of Revenge. It's just weird, a minute and a half of nothing. So yeah, nine tracks they put 2 tracks of filler in there. So you kind of, you didn't really get a lot of, or you got bang for your buck, but you didn't get. It was kind of over before it began, and then you'd start again. So
Yeah, from what I can see, 2 tracks is what's filling out those cod pieces.
a bit. You
Yeah.
know.
I can totally see myself though getting hella wasted with a whole heap of friends and just rocking out to their music though. Even though it's not my style, I can totally see like, starting to make fun, bopping along with my head and everything else, but then it turning into, I'm actually kind of enjoying rocking out to this music right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I can totally say that. You'd need some leather pants for that though.
Yeah. Or
Can you stretch enough in leather pants?
at least some chaps,
Yeah, chaps. No, definitely.
leather chaps.
I've got long hair, that'll do.
Yeah.
Have I ever seen you with long hair?
Only ever had long hair as long as you've known me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't seen you in bloody 2 years, so give me a break.
I usually just always have it up
Hang
though
on.
because it actually bothers me and makes me
Under.
really warm when I've got my hair on my neck.
But I mean, like, no, this Manowar type long hair. Have I ever seen you with that?
Man, our long hair.
Maybe not down to my bottom.
Yeah, no, I didn't think so. I do pay attention.
But anyway, enough about hair length. It's kind of a boring conversation.
Yeah.
It's really.
Yes, let's cut the hair conversation. But all about blow your speakers. At least something's getting blown. And I guess it's not hard to blow your speakers when you're a band made up of blowhards.
Okay. Yeah. Well, 3.5 stars out of 5. That's like seriously 3 stars more than I expected.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? But I'm not mean like you.
I'm not. That's not even true. That is so far from the. So far. Yeah, and it was a last minute thing, and the reason I did it is because we were kind of stuck in the 80s with the last episode. And this I loved when this album came out. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I bought it, and I think I said this before. I bought it based on the cover. I had no idea.
You did. You said.
Of course you did.
It was in the metal section on cassette, and I bought it, and I went, this has got to be great because look how metal the cover is. And there it was. And it was very metal.
Yeah, but that's kind of not surprising when the cover's so incredibly cliche metal. Like, it really is.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, I saw a couple of the variations with...
Yeah.
Some had skeletons and others, I can't even remember now. They were very similar.
Depending on the country of release, I imagine.
Yeah, would have been re-releases and international releases and all that jazz.
Yep.
But no, it's another popular band that I'd never heard of, and I think my brother might have liked these guys back in the late 80s, early 90s, but not so much my sister, but my brother would have. But, I'd never heard of them, but I don't mind a good Manowar.
Yes, the enduring joke. Yep.
The drinks are 10% dearer than Ladies Hour, but anyways.
Yes. It's a weird thing when you look back now as a metal fan, and I look back in the 80s and what we were listening to and what we were looking at and the sort of album covers, and it just, it screams homoeroticism. And no one got it.
Yeah, nah, I don't need that shit. Sorry. Could do without the cover. Could do without the rubbing it in my face. It's all right for you guys, but I'm the unlikable one.
No, I'm just as usual. I'm just a little bit disappointed you didn't hate it more, and pleasantly surprised that you didn't hate it at all. So I'm torn every week. I'm torn about what I want. Yeah, and I have met the guitarist Ross the Boss, and he's a really nice guy. Doesn't look anything like he does on the album cover.
Bugger.
Having said that,
not anymore.
not anymore. No, not anymore. I'm not sure if he ever did. There's a fair bit of airbrushing going on there. So,
did he ever buy pants?
Well, this is a thing. This is what these guys, they go on stage dressed like that. The 6-pack not quite as prominent, but that's how they performed.
Jeez, don't sound so judgy, Gareth. We've all been there at one point in our career. Christ.
And it's yeah. I think that's probably why they're such a sort of a jarring band, because they were serious about the metal. So and leather chaps and cod pieces.
Well, it doesn't surprise me when you run around looking like bloody clowns. you sort of expect the music to be a little bit weird. Look at Kiss, right? If you look at the image of Kiss and then hear the music, suddenly that dichotomy, is that the right word?
Yep.
Suddenly that makes sense. You know, that juxtaposition, that they work together, they complement each other. And that's kind of what Manowar does, in a way.
It does.
Kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all, it's all very serious swords and sorcery and all that sort of thing. So, yeah.
And 40-year-old virgins.
Yeah, so much of that.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, if there's any listening, my DMs are always open.
Oh,
Anyways,
yeah.
moving on.
Yeah, aim high.
Yep.
We should move on because this is only half a podcast.
Yeah, I think we can close up shop on metal this week. We're going to take a quick ad break. We're going to hear from our friends and sponsors. Back in a moment with Mimi Kaka.
Coming this summer, winter, spring, or fall, the first ever musical theater sitcom, where you go behind the scenes of the latest West End show, the Fosse Forest Ballet.
Where's the important stuff? Aha! £1,000 a week ensemble rate. That's what Mamma Mia likes.
Starring Philip Joel and a West End cast featuring Kerry Ellis, Darren Day, Louise Demon, and Oliver Saville, and more.
It all started in 1987 when I was a jobbing actress working in a diner.
Yeah, it's just I had a really bad experience when I was touring Australia with a wombat.
Darling! Mwah, mwah. La, la. How long have I been mentoring you? 3 months?
2 years.
So her name is Henrietta.
The horse. Yes. I've managed to secure you an audition for the biggest, most innovative, and the latest show to be going into the West End. Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat. Think more along the lines of Panto.
Frozen.
You can watch this episode for the price of a coffee. Simply go to www.thefosseforestballet.com. Any and all profits go back to theatre charities, acting for others, and the Theatre's Trust. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you'll see a grown man in sparkly tights.
Tight nights. Nice. Tights.
And we're back with Thrash and Treasure, the only podcast stupid enough to pit musical theatre against heavy metal. I am your host for today, Aaron. That's Gareth. That's our guest, Lara. We're going to jump straight into the musical section. Now, I gave you an album this week, didn't I, Gareth? Would you like to tell the folks at home what that was?
Yes, I would. I'm really, really excited about this one. You gave me Once on This Island.
Yep.
The new Broadway cast recording, and it is a musical.
It is a musical.
It is a musical. It is so musical. It couldn't be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Cliched. I listened to this one while I was mowing the lawn, and sadly I've got an electric lawnmower, so I didn't drown it out. So I heard every song at least twice, and what did I write down? It is, without jumping to the end, it sounded like The Lion King if it was mashed up with Aladdin and then put in a dose of Cinderella by Disney, because only Disney can just make things so sickly sweet and overly mawkish, and it's just everything about this musical reminds me why I don't like musicals. From the story is, we got this cute little girl, and she lives on one half of the island, and it's all ruled by gods, and the other, and she's just a poor little black girl, and then these white people that live on the other side of the island, and they've just got all the money, and and she wants to go there and just hang out with them and try and pull herself out of her, what she was born into. And it just went on and on and on. And I really, I gave it probably 4 listens trying to find something in there that was redeeming, and I found absolutely nothing. I thought, why did they reprise this? They should have just left it.
Nah.
Just leave it alone. It's just, this story's been done 100 million times. There's nothing original about it. It's like, no, it was. I'm honestly, I'm going to say this one, Aaron. This is the worst musical you've ever given me.
What? That's racist.
Yeah, this is horrible. I went looking, and I was actually surprised that this wasn't a Disney production, because it's got that whole Disney thing about it. It was just like, yeah.
Don't Disney want to adapt it though? Don't they want to turn it into one of theirs?
I bet they do.
Well, they're supposedly doing the film version for Disney Plus.
There you go.
But like we talked about with Aladdin, Disney take these fairy tale stories and do their own version. This musical by Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty is The Little Mermaid. That's the story of it. It's just been changed to be humans and not a mermaid. It's a little girl that was brought there by the gods, or she was saved by the gods. Sorry, the four of them. And anyways, it's very much about classism and I guess probably a lot of ways racial discrimination and all that, the differences between it's elitism and all that sort of stuff. But in the original story, the Little Mermaid dies, right? She gets turned into sea foam. And in this story, Timon doesn't survive. And someone like me who doesn't like romances, I'm like, yes, please, give me more of that. I don't want no fucking Disney sappy endings. Show me how it really is, because we all know that one of them's going to die at the end.
The gods go in there, and they send her in there to kill, what's his name, with a knife. And I'm like, this is just wrong. It's just wrong. Anyway, I didn't get that. I didn't understand that bit at all.
Yeah, I don't think that's Timon that's trying to stab him. She's supposed to kiss him or something. I don't know. I haven't actually seen it on stage. However, what about the performances?
No, do you know what?
Come on.
Okay.
That Hailey Kilgore, she absolutely kills it. I mean, okay, there is this whole trope in musical theatre, this whole, I'm young and I'm bright and beautiful and my life is ahead of me, but I want my life to begin. So my life's going to begin when I sing this song and the story's going to start and we go along. I'm sick of it. I'm fucking sick of that trope. However, and I did know the original 1990, I think it was, with LeChan's pronunciation I'm a bit unsure of. However, I knew her version, and the music was a little bit drowned out compared to how clear it is and crisp in this recording. Anyways, Hailey Kilgore's voice, she fucking nails this. That rendition on this album is magnificent. And when I first heard that recently, because I hadn't heard this new CD up until now. Oh my god, fantastic! Like, and Alex Newell and Leah Salonga and the rest of the cast. Mel Dandridge, who is absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, and she's playing Papagee, the god of death of all characters. The performances.
I threw myself straight away with this one because I looked at it, and once on the Silent, and I had it on Spotify, and I was, just had my headphones in. It straight away, I thought, once on the Silent, I'm thinking like South Pacific Islands. And then their accents, I'm like, what are these accents they're using? These are not South Pacific Islanders. This is...
Yeah, they're in the Caribbean. That was my fault. Sorry.
I did discover that they're in the Caribbean. So after raging for the whole thing for an hour and 10 minutes in my head about their accents, I then discovered it was the Caribbean, and it all made sense. So I had a whole rant about that I just literally had to put a line through, because that was my stupid fault for listening to you. The performances on this one didn't grab me because it just sounds so kind of, like last week you said that every song sounded the same with the album the metal album.
Oh my god, every song was the fucking same. It didn't sound the same. It was the exact same song.
This is when I'm listening to this, that's all I'm hearing. This sounds, there is nothing for me, there is nothing interesting about this. It just sounds so, it's that musical theatre sound, it's the performance, it's the delivery, and it's just, oh god. Give me something original. I want to go back to Assassins or anything, The Prom or anything but this.
I'm kind of surprised. I was sort of expecting you to at least like the music. Like, the music is really good. Maybe not the story or the lyrics.
No, it sounded all. It's just twee and twinky and no.
Yeah, see, I
No,
agree
this
with Gareth as well. Like, I found
yes.
the whole thing quite cliche. Like, and
You can come back
Fuck
anytime,
you
love.
both.
I
The only
love
thing-
You're
you.
both racist.
The only thing, though, that I kind of did appreciate was the fact that it was set somewhere not in a European country or not in an American country or something like that. You know what I mean? It was like somewhere that was like a little bit further removed. So that was kind of nice to a certain extent.
But
And then
it's written
the
by
other
white
thing,
people.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you, Aaron, that voice was actually probably a really nice voice. I don't know that the others really captivated me as much as the main star. But the other thing as well is I kept getting Timon and Pumbaa in my head
Yes.
with
Yep.
I'm like, this
Yeah.
is confusing the hell out of me. Like, am I doing the Lion King right now, or am I doing a
Yes.
Island with Ariel, like, or something like to that effect, you know?
Yep.
But I do have a favorite track on
Yeah.
that whole musical soundtrack, and that was Some Say. I thought that was just like this really cute little rendition. I was like, felt really happy and peaceful. I felt like a little child, quite happy. The rest of it, didn't really care.
Hey.
Yeah, Some Say it's quite cute and gossip. I don't at all care for Some Girls or any of the ballads on there. And the Tale of Beaujom's, that's kind of a bit bad. But we should probably explain at least the basic story, where we have Ariel in the ocean dreaming about being with Prince Eric. We have Timoon see this boy driving in a car, and she thinks, well, I want to be with him. I want my life to be like his, all free and wild and all that. And so she prays to the gods, and at first they're a bit like, this girl's crazy, let's drop a mango on her head. But then one of them says, no, let's give her what she wants. And so they, instead of the ship in The Little Mermaid crashing and sinking, in this, they ran his car off the road. And then, so she has to make a deal with Papagee and all that, which then obviously leads to later on with the whole, I guess, the stabbing thing and stuff. As I say, I've not seen this before on stage, but more than ever now I would like to see it. And as I also mentioned, the original recording was a little bit muffled in the instruments. In this, we hear the orchestrations very clearly. We hear the music a lot better. And the singing, as I say, I am living for her voice. And I'm a bit of a fan of Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty. You know, they've got some really good musicals. Obviously, this is the first one of theirs that we've touched upon, and there will be more. And you know, of varying stories and quality and all that. But one thing you touched upon with the whole Disney thing, this was 1989, 1990, 1991 that they wrote this, and it was released, it produced. At the same time, that was the Disney Renaissance. They had picked up Menken and Ashman from Broadway, or off Broadway more specifically, for the Little Mermaid and Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. So it really wouldn't surprise me if these two thought, well, let's do a fairy tale and show them how talented we are and try to get noticed by them. It really wouldn't surprise me. And back then, the industry was a hell of a lot different. You had to actually do something. You had to actually publish work and produce it for companies to say, hey, we want to sign you up. Yeah, no, so that wouldn't surprise me at all if that Disney sound was deliberate to catch their attention, which, you know,
sellouts.
It took them long enough to do it, and as someone who recently caught Disney's attention, sometimes
Let's get noticed by Disney. Yeah.
Let's not get onto that. Anyway, so this production in particular, they actually did in the round. And it was a sandpit.
Oh, okay.
Or
That's
a sandbox, if you will. So the whole stage was sand, which anyone who knows me knows that I'm an Aries, I'm single, and I like walks along the beach on the footpath. Get the fucking sand away from me. It's just like glitter. I don't want it. Get it away. You get glitter in every part of your body that you don't want fucking glitter. I don't want to look down when I'm weeing and see glitter stuck to my willy. No thank you, for crying out loud. That's the same with sand. I do not need sand up my bum. Plain and simply.
I don't know. I don't think you're allowed to hate on glitter. Doesn't it go against, like, everything?
Worst inventions ever.
I don't know.
You're doing that, you're getting it up your willy there, hey? Hey?
Some interesting use
Nothing.
of
That's the
glitter.
fucking point. I don't even use it, and I get it everywhere. Shit. Anyways.
Okay, you're editing this one.
What's the male version of bejazzling?
I've never understood that at all.
What, decorating your bits?
Yeah. Either men or women.
Anyways, moving on. I just hope they do a faithful adaptation of it, and not like other ones where a character's meant to die in the end and they chicken out.
Yeah, see, Disney's going to change that. They'll make her live again. Like, like Warner's did it with Rambo in the first Rambo. So,
What?
Well, in the book, Rambo, the book, he dies. John Rambo dies at the end.
Oh yeah, he did too, didn't he?
But they changed it for the movie so that they could make a dozen sequels. So, yeah, thanks for that.
But I don't think they will here. They didn't with Into the Woods.
Okay, who died in that apart from me, my hearing?
The baker's wife.
Right. Okay. Yep.
And you would have known that had you done your research.
But as you know, I retain nothing, and I especially do not retain things like.
Well, you didn't even know it at the time.
I just want to forget it and move on.
Well,
I'm a little bit like the Prime Minister in that regard. I just yeah. No, we've already dealt with that. Move on.
From now on, the first person to bring up that fuckwit's name has to put $1 in a jar. All right.
All right. Did I give it 1 star? There's 1 star, because I always forget to give stars. So 1 star.
1, you hate poor black people, you poor black people hating racist.
I hate rich white people more. So, yeah. What I was reading when I did my research on this one was they made a conscious decision to cast darker people for the poor people on one side of the island and lighter for the rich people on the other side of the island. So, yeah.
There's a bit of social commentary in there.
Oh yeah, there is. I just think it's pretty ham-fisted, and it's been done. It's overdone, So
Well, yeah, maybe for now, but this was 1990. It was written probably 88, 89.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
still,
so
even for
much back then.
1990, it still would have, there's a lot of those fairy tales that follow that similar sort of ebb and flow.
Yeah.
That, I definitely agree. It's been done enough times. But then again, it is cute to have something in a place where we haven't been before, right? In a fairy tale context. I don't know how many fairy tales that, Western kids would be growing up with have been based in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
No, don't stick
So
too
that's,
much.
I guess,
Cool Runnings.
Good point.
Well, yeah, okay, so it was loosely based
Runnings.
on a true story or
very
real
loose, I think.
people, but it was turned into a fairy tale.
That was not a little bit. That was very disappointing when you see the movie and you get all excited and then you go and do the research and realize that the movie's just bullshit. It's a good movie, but it's just, okay, that's not the story. It was never wasn't that good. But anyway, Alan, on that note.
Yeah, on that note, we should slide out of here.
We should. Are we swapping albums for next week?
Yes, we are.
Mm.
So what shit are you going to give me this week?
I'm going to give you Children of Bodom is the name of the band, and the album is called Death Crew Hate Roll because it's just going to brighten your day. I'll send you the link.
Children of Bodom.
Yeah, Bodom.
What was the album called? I wasn't paying attention.
Death Crew Hate Roll. Hate Roll being one word.
Death Crew Hate Roll.
And I'm telling you nothing about it.
Okay, well, for my choice, we're going to jump back to the 50s.
Ooh.
Yep.
Love the 50s. Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly, my favorite.
Chuck Berry. Yeah. Give me the 50s, baby. Oosh.
And we're going to go with a little Cole Porter musical. I'm sure you've heard of him.
Heard of him.
Yep, very good. That's a gold star to you. We're going to go with a little musical called Can. So get those high kicks ready.
Just like when I was at the Moulin Rouge a few years ago. There we go.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what it's about. I haven't seen it in quite a long time. I was, a small 12-year-old soon-to-be gay kid hiring old classical musicals from the video shop. Who knew where I would end up? Anyways, so I really think you're going to love this one. It's a classic.
Okay, that's right. I have found the original Broadway cast.
Anyways, that was an episode. Huge thanks to Lara for joining us this week.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's been awesome. Wonderful. Thank you. I'm giving you an A. A for Aaron. 2 A's. There you go. I'm giving Lara A+.
Ha-ha! Star pupil.
That's
Woohoo!
Yes.
Yeah. Teacher's pet.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
All right, bye. Love yous.
Oh, I love you, Lara.
Love
and
you.
Gareth, you're pretty cool too.
I love you all.
Sorry. Yeah. I know you did that to me recently, accidentally. Meant to say love my work.
I did say love your work, and you stopped me at love you.
Oh, he's gone now.
That's what you do.
All right. Thanks, Gareth.
Hey, thanks a lot. It's been fun.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Bye.
See ya. Bye.